Hi guys, Miss McFarland here. I'm going to help you with the answer key for this week's Quizizz. Our first question is the fraction 1/5 is equivalent to what decimal? So if you look in the picture, 2 bars or 2/10 have been colored in. 2/10 can be written as 0.2. Also, 1/5 is equivalent to the fraction 2/10. So 2/10 would be my answer. Question number 2, 2/5 is equivalent to what fraction? So if 1/5 was 2/10, then 2/5 would be 2 of those, which would be 4/10. If you're looking in the model, 4 bars are colored in. 0 and 4/10 is our answer. Number 3, 8/10 written as a fraction. I know 0.8 can be written as 8/10 as a fraction. If I simplify, I can divide my numerator denominator by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 4/5 is a fraction I'm looking for. Number 4, 3/4 or 3/4 as a fraction is which decimal? Looking at my model, 3 pieces out of my 4 are white. I know that's also a 100 grid. If 4 times 25 is 100, then 3 times 25 is 75. 75 hundredths, written as a decimal, is 0.75. Our best answer here is yellow. Number 5, 1/2 is equivalent to how many tenths? I know 2 times 5 is 10, so if I do that to my numerator to make equivalent fractions, I'm going to get 5/10 for my answer, 5. Number 6, how would I write 4/10 as a decimal? Well, just like I say, at 4/10, I can write it as 0.4 in the tenths place. 3/5 is equivalent to how many tenths? I know 5 times 2 is 10, so if I do that to my numerator for equivalent fractions, I get 6/10, which could be written as 0.6. Number 8 shows us a different kind of strategy, division for making fractions into decimals. This is the same as 2 divided by 5. 2 divided by 5. 5 doesn't go into 2, so it's a 0. If I add a decimal 0, 5 goes into 24 times, and I get a decimal of 0 and 4/10. Number 9, I have a fraction and I have a decimal, and I need to add these together. 1/4 is equivalent to 25 hundredths, like 1/4. If I line that up and add 2 and 3/10, adding a 0 as a placeholder, 5 plus 0 is 5, 2 plus 3 is 5, 2 plus 0 is 2, I get 2 and 55 hundredths. Number 10, I have 2 mixed numbers I need to add, 5 and 4/5 plus 3 and 2/3. Remember from last week, it's really important to find common denominators. I'm going to use 15. 3 times 5 is 15, so 2 times 5 is 10. Here, 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to add my fractions first, and remember my denominator stays the same. 12 plus 10 is 22. 5 plus 3 is 8. 22/15 is an improper fraction, so I need to make that into a mixed number. I know one group of 15 can be taken out of 22. If I subtract those, that will get me my numerator. I'd have 7/15 left, and if I put all of this together, I would have 9 and 7/15. All right, number 11. I have a decimal and a fraction. My answer choices are decimals, so I'm going to make my fraction 2 4/5 into a decimal. I know I can have 10 as a denominator. I'm going to make an equivalent fraction. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 8/10 can be written as a decimal as 2.8. And if I have 4 6/10 and subtract 2 8/10, I can get my answer. I need to regroup. 16 minus 8 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. So 1 8/10 is my answer. Final question. Subtracting mixed numbers. I have 10 1/2 minus 4 5/6. Remember, equivalent fractions, and I have to have a common denominator. I'm going to use 6. I'm going to keep 5/6 the same, but I need to change 1/2. 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. Fortunately, I cannot do 3 minus 5, so I need to regroup. I'm going to take a whole away from 10 to make a 9. I'm going to regroup my whole, which is a fraction equivalent to whole 6/6. Add those together to get 9/6. Now I can subtract 9/6 minus 5/6 to get 4/6. And 9 minus 4 is 5. I don't see that as an answer choice, so I'm going to make sure I can simplify. I know these are both even, so if I divide by 2, I can get 5 2/3 as my final answer. Let's see how we did. All right, you guys have a great week.